This is a fascinating story of facts over feels. Because, especially in the progressive country of New Zealand, especially in the progressive year of the woke 2023, when an airline company, aware of the current political correctness climate, is saying that it needs to weigh passengers for safety, I tend to believe them. And a lot of people are outraged at the company rather than being outraged at the absolute state of people. I mean, look at it this way. When was the first airplane invented? When did the Wright brothers push that thing off a cliff? If my memory serves from school, it's around 1900 when the first plane took off. And I want you guys to Google 1900 circus freak fattest person, because they used to have these things. They used to, back then, people were a little bit more politically correct, and they would have like the circus where you'd have various curiosities, including like the fattest man, fattest woman. And you have like these black and white photos with how people used to look like back then, to the point where if someone would see that, they would be astonished and they would pay a ticket for it. And I guarantee to you, that person looks slim by today's standards, because the general population, due to unhealthy habits, unhealthy eating, and also political correctness, has gotten to the point where airlines have to actually weigh passengers in order to make sure that it's safe. And when I say political correctness, is that there was an article that I read a couple of days ago with a lady who couldn't fit in a Boeing, and she demanded, like her rationale was that the entire Air Force industry should change the sizes of the plane so that she can get in, right? Like, that is more reasonable than someone saying, hey, maybe you should lose weight. Like, if you can't get in a Boeing, maybe it's time, a little bit of a diet. Like, what I am saying is that if you're in your 30s and you feel like gasping for breath after climbing 4 stairs, maybe it's not healthy. Maybe you need to change your lifestyle or your way of living. I'm not even saying go to the gym if you don't like it, but at least go to a pool. At least take a walk in the park for 1 or 2 hours a day. Stuff like that. But if you say that, you're going to be chewed up. It's not okay to say that. How dare you? How dare you say something like that, right? We live in an age where we have AI safety, trust and safety councils, safety this, safety that. But heaven forbid you tell another person, hey, it's not safe if you keep on living the way you are. So you have a lot of people that are upset because of this. Apparently the airplane company is doing this for the safe and efficient operation of the aircraft. Which, again, to me, it's shocking because they must have had problems with this. Right? Like, there must have been, when the airplanes were made, and I assume like these Boeings were probably made in the 80s or the 90s because they're not built yesterday. Right? But when they were made, they were like certain standards, and they thought it's like, okay, this is the average weight of a passenger, and this is like the maximum load, assuming that every single seat is filled. But now, the load of the passenger may differ a little bit from how it was in the 80s or the 70s. And again, like, you can look at pictures. Like, it's a massive explosion of, I guess you can call it an obesity epidemic, which you're not allowed to talk about, right? Like, you're allowed to talk about how it's not cool for people to drink alcohol, right? Like, you can talk about that. You can talk about it's not cool for people to smoke. You can talk about the fact that it's not cool for people to do drugs. But for some fucking reason, for some goddamn reason, whenever you talk about maybe you should have like a healthy lifestyle, no. I don't know why, though. And I think, like, America is mostly to blame, because here in Eastern Europe, you can talk to other people like, hey, we have public health care, like, we pay taxes. It would be nice if you stop drinking. It would be nice if you lose some weight. Yeah, like, because, like, again, it's public health care. If everyone paid for themselves, then no one would give a shit. But in America, it's the other way. It's the opposite way. It's like, why can't airplanes be made larger so I can fit in? And I'm like, this is literally like me complaining that the electric socket is all the way to the wall, and I like me to get off my ass and move to the electric socket so I can charge my phone. I demand that society brings the wall closer to me. It's ridiculous. But anyway, right, so apparently they're going to weigh up passengers, and they're going to make sure that the weight is private. So basically, when you go up on the scale, they don't see, the people behind you don't see how much you weigh. The people in front of you don't see how much you weigh. It's like being put, I guess, in a database, and then the pilot knows the overall load. But some people are finding problems with this. Like, some people get offended, and it's like, how dare you, sir? It's just like so fucking bizarre. So Air New Zealand has assured passengers that their data will be recorded and stored anonymously, and no specific weight figure will be displayed on the scales. James, a representative of the airline, explained that knowing the weight of all items on board is a mandatory requirement set of regulations. Currently, cargo and onboard meals are already weighed in during flights, and collection of additional data would assist Air New Zealand in efficiency planning fuel for their fleet of 104 operation aircraft. Prior to the pandemic, the airline served approximately 17 million passengers annually, operating at 3,400 flights a week. The airline aims to involve around 10,000 passengers in the survey conducted at Auckland. So Air New Zealand has previously requested passengers to be weighed before boarding the flights, and in 2021, domestic passengers participated in a survey while the survey for international travelers was postponed due to the pandemic. What I find interesting is like the people that are actually flying, they don't complain. Look at her smiling. Do you know why she's smiling? Do you know? Because she doesn't get to be weighed. She doesn't fly ever. She travels by boat. But what's interesting is that the people that are actually flying, they're not complaining, right? But the people that are complaining are on Twitter, probably not even involved with the New Zealand aircraft, right? But they're very upset. And I'm thinking like, okay, so you want the airplanes to figure out solutions and come up with things like larger chairs and stuff. And when they are trying to gather data in order to see whether or not they should come to solutions, oh, people are complaining. Should set weight brackets just like in suitcases. You pick up your bracket, but if you get to the airport and it's over, you pay extra. Just as you would with a suitcase. This will outrage every Luffy and digital influencer that flies. Yeah, like literally, I think TikTok is a little bit to blame. The TikTok culture, not TikTok the app. Because you do have people that gain popularity just by flying aircrafts, making TikTok videos and complaining about random things that are happening, right? Oh my god, I can't fit in the Boeing. Okay, well, get this lady a military jet then. Like, what can I say? Military aircraft that carries jeeps. Like, maybe she can fit in that. Jesus fucking Christ. Like, get the medevac from StarCraft. I mean, the medevac from StarCraft could carry, like, what? If I remember correctly, 6 Marines? Or was it 8 Marines? But you can also carry 1 tank. Like, you gotta choose. But it's equipped in order to carry heavier things, so maybe that. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.